Jana Duggar's legal battle with Stephen, a family feud? For years, Jana Duggar was seen as the steady anchor of the Duggar family, the one who carried herself with grace and composure, even as those around her often found themselves embroiled in controversy. She was the sister who stayed home longer than anyone else, the daughter who quietly devoted herself to helping raise younger siblings, the figure fans admired for her patience, her strength, and her devotion. Unlike some of her siblings, she rarely sought the spotlight, instead appearing as the quiet presence who held things together when others drifted apart. That image of calm reliability has now been shaken by the unexpected news that Jana has found herself entangled in a legal battle with her husband, Stephen. What has stunned fans even more than the existence of the dispute itself is the way it seems to be drawing lines within the Duggar family, igniting whispers of a feud that has been years in the making and that may now be spilling into the public eye. The news of the legal proceedings between Jana and Stephen was met with shock because, until recently, their marriage had been portrayed as one of mutual respect and stability. Stephen was introduced to the public as a dependable and faith-driven partner, someone who seemed to complement Jana's quiet nature with his own steadiness. The two were often pictured together in simple but affectionate ways, whether attending church events, spending time with nieces and nephews, or working side by side on projects. For fans who had followed Jana's long wait for marriage, the union was celebrated as a long-awaited answer to prayer. The idea that this marriage might now be tested in a courtroom has shattered that narrative, leaving supporters struggling to reconcile what they thought they knew with what they are now learning. Reports suggest that the legal conflict may involve financial disagreements, property disputes, or other personal matters that became too large to handle privately. While the exact details remain closely guarded, the existence of court filings and legal representation for both Jana and Stephen makes it clear that this is no minor squabble. Some sources have hinted that financial stress could have been at the root, pointing to disagreements about how money was being managed within the marriage. Others whisper that deeper issues of trust and communication may have been brewing quietly long before any legal action was taken. What is certain is that the couple who once appeared so unified are now facing a test that goes far beyond ordinary marital challenges. The Duggar family's reaction has been as complex as the situation itself. Michelle Duggar, the matriarch known for her gentle encouragement, has reportedly urged Jana to approach the matter with prayer, grace, and patience, hoping that reconciliation may still be possible. Jim Bob, on the other hand, is said to be far more pragmatic, worried about the public image of the family as well as the practical financial consequences of a public legal dispute. His emphasis on damage control has reportedly clashed with Michelle's focus on healing and forgiveness, creating an undercurrent of tension between the parents themselves. That division has only amplified the whispers that the Duggar household, once so carefully presented as a model of unity, is far more divided than it appears. Jana's siblings, too, have found themselves pulled into the situation, each responding in ways that reflect their own journeys and perspectives. Jessa has reportedly taken a more neutral stance, urging both Jana and Stephen to seek counseling and resolve their issues privately rather than in the public eye. Joanna, close to Stephen in the past, has expressed support for him, believing that misunderstandings can be worked through and that Jana should give him more time to prove his commitment. In stark contrast, Jill and Jinger, who in recent years have publicly stepped away from many of the family's strict traditions, are said to be firmly standing by Jana, encouraging her to prioritize her own well-being and to refuse to compromise her happiness for the sake of appearances. The possibility that the siblings may find themselves divided over loyalty to Jana or Stephen has turned this legal conflict into something much larger, a family feud that could reshape relationships for years to come. Fans have been vocal in their response, and the tone of the conversation online has been both passionate and divided. Many are rallying behind Jana, pointing out that she has always been selfless and supportive of others and deserves to finally put herself first. They argue that after years of sacrifice, she should not be forced to endure a marriage that does not bring her peace. Some fans even describe her as the unsung hero of the Duggar household, the one who put her life on hold to raise younger siblings and who now deserves a chance to live on her own terms. Others, however, have cautioned against rushing to judgment, reminding fellow followers that marriage is complex and that what is visible in the public eye is only a fraction of the full story. These debates have filled forums, fan pages, and social media threads, reflecting not only interest in Jana's life, but also broader cultural conversations about faith, family, and the pressures of public living. The weight of expectation is particularly heavy for Jana because she was always viewed as different from her siblings. Her singleness into her 30s was a constant subject of speculation, with fans wondering why she remained at home when so many of her younger sisters married early. Some saw her as independent, others as sheltered, but nearly everyone agreed that her path was unique. When she finally married Stephen, it was seen as a turning point, a sign that Jana, too, would now step into the roles of wife and mother that had defined so many of her sisters' lives. That the marriage now faces legal battles feels like a cruel twist, as if even in finally choosing her own path, Jana has found herself once again at the center of tension and scrutiny. Her silence on the matter has only fueled speculation. Jana has not given public statements or interviews, a decision consistent with her lifelong tendency to remain private. For some, this silence is a sign of strength, a refusal to engage in public drama. For others, it raises concern that she is being pressured into quietness by family or by legal constraints. Stephen, too, has remained quiet, appearing in public rarely and offering no direct comments. Those who know him describe a man under strain, torn between defending himself in court and trying to preserve his marriage. His absence from public appearances has been noticed, and his silence has been interpreted in many different ways, none of which provide a clear picture of where he truly stands. The emotional weight of this situation cannot be overstated. For Jana, who has spent so much of her life caring for others, this legal battle represents not only a challenge to her marriage, but also a test of her identity. Can she be the strong, patient daughter her family expects while also standing firm for herself in the face of conflict? Can she navigate the courtroom and the public eye without losing the quiet strength that has defined her? And perhaps most importantly, can she emerge from this battle with her faith and sense of self intact? Observers note that the Duggar family has faced public crises before, but this one feels different because it strikes at the heart of the family's internal image. Jana was the glue, the reliable one, the daughter who never rebelled, the sister who never strayed. Yet she is now in conflict with her husband and at risk of estrangement from parts of her family. It raises difficult questions about whether the Duggar ideal of unity has been more fragile than anyone realized. It suggests that even those who appeared most steadfast are not immune to the strains of expectation, family pressure, and personal struggle. For now, the legal process continues, and the future remains uncertain. Some hold out hope for reconciliation, believing that prayer, counseling, and forgiveness can heal the rift. Others see the situation as too damaged to repair, with the courtroom battles leaving scars too deep to fade. Whatever the outcome, it is clear that this is a defining chapter not only in Jana's life, but in the larger Duggar story. Fans and critics alike will watch closely, not simply out of curiosity, but because the story resonates with themes that are deeply human. The struggle between duty and independence, the tension between family loyalty and personal happiness, the challenge of balancing faith with reality. As Jana navigates the weeks and months ahead, her story is likely to inspire as much as it unsettles. She may emerge stronger, more independent, and more determined to carve her own path. Or she may find herself retreating once again into the quiet shadow of the family home, seeking refuge in the roles she has always known. What is certain is that Jana Duggar, once the quiet sister who stayed behind, is now at the center of a storm that has captured the attention of all who have followed her journey. Her legal battle with Stephen has become more than a marital dispute. It is a symbol of the cracks in a family long idealized and the resilience of a woman determined to find her own way forward, no matter how difficult the road may be. Thanks for watching.